I actually am convinced that the Odin is one of the best guns in the game. I think it's super strong. Plus, especially if you're ADS. I guess imagine on land actually.
You know, all this time I've been thinking, what if I told you that the Odin might actually be the best gun in the game? Let's break this down. Alright, so although it's probably the most hated gun in the entirety of Valorant, I think there's actually a really good possibility that the Odin is one of the, if not the strongest gun in Valorant right now. This comes off the back of a decent mix of factors that the gun brings to the table, and the benefits that it has compared to its competitors makes you question why you even bought an assault rifle in the first place. If you like this video, would appreciate it if you liked and subbed, but let's get going. Alright, so let's run back a quick refresher on the Odin, and then we can build on this to get into some specifics and strengths of the gun. Currently costing 3,200 credits, it serves as the premium machine gun in the game, and is the most expensive gun in the game outside of the operator, who cuts into a complete class above every other gun. Commanding a 300 price premium over two of the most popular guns in the game, being the Vandal and Phantom, the Odin definitely has a high bar to clear in terms of its performance, and is supplemented by a completely different playstyle than either of these guns. The Odin is heavily characterized by its insane magazine size and different power curve compared to assault rifles, and has strengths in being able to lock down areas with its spam ability, making them great pressure weapons. The Odin also has a much faster fire rate than either the Phantom or Vandal right now, being able to out DPS them by default as long as the AR player doesn't get a headshot off. The Odin is also known for its terrible spray pattern and hipfire. So why is it that when we all run into the situation where the enemy team is losing, then they suddenly buy a couple of Odins and the game is just suddenly so much harder? There's actually a lot of things that the Odin allows you to do that can catch a lot of players off guard, and it's because of the way this gun operates that it tilts so many players. Let's start off with the biggest difference that you may see in the gun at first glance, and that's the absolutely massive 100 bullet mag that the gun has. The Odin attempts to balance its huge mag by having a 5-second reload time, but the reality is that it's not an issue if you just never need to reload. 100 bullets is more than enough to kill 5 players, and you just have so many bullets that you can pre-fire corners while full sprinting and just not really care. The amount of bullets that it has, along with its AoE beam type of damage, you can also easily melt sage walls, temporary walls in certain maps, and enemy bodies. Enemy trying to push through a smoke? Nice try. The Odin is for sure the best gun in the game for that sort of pressure fire scenario, and it's pretty easy to get a bunch of kills off with it as well. In addition, the Odin is the best gun in the game when it comes to playing defensively, holding angles or sights, and trying to suppress enemy pushes. The flexibility of the gun when it comes to this is unmatched, and it is incredible how much people can get caught off guard from it. A lot of the time, you can even spray through enemy flashes because you can get a general feel for where the enemy is, but the reality is, as long as you have that, you can continue to spray potential choke points. The aforementioned large magazine is also equally powerful for this reason, and I would say that in a vacuum, having one person to spec out an Odin in most rounds, regardless of whether you're attacking or defending, is actually good practice. Accessing the strong use cases for the Odin doesn't require your entire team to purchase in order to be effective, and it gives you so much more leverage in certain situations. Other good use cases for the gun are extended thanks to its high wall penetration, which enables that super cringe pre-fire and run playstyle that you may or may not be familiar with. The ADS mode is also a dream to use because it completely compensates for its god-awful spray pattern when hip firing, and it also allows the Odin user to access its maximum fire rate right off the bat. For reference, the Odin starts off at a 12 round per second fire rate and then works its way up to 15.6, but when you're in ADS mode, you can start your spray right from the max speed. All of these reasons and the way the gun has given the community good reason to be so hated, and it makes it feel like there's nothing you can do against it if the enemy were to pick it up. In fact, in my other video talking about how to counter the Odin, people were mildly dissatisfied when I told them the best way to counter the Odin with an assault rifle is to just get a headshot. While there are of course other ways to overcome the Odin with other guns as well, this is how the matchup of guns is generally supposed to interact. I can see how it would sound like obvious advice to say just shoot them in the head, 5 head, but the reality of the situation is this is really the primary way to counter it at short and medium ranges. By design, the gun has more DPS than both the Vandal and Phantom, and the Odin trades this off for a worse headshot damage ratio. Therefore, it really is the only way to truly counteract the potential of the Odin. The sheer fact that this is the main counter and how it's pretty reliant on skill is a big reason why so many people get tilted off this gun, and this psychological factor actually makes the gun better as a result. Valorant is very much a game of psychology and mental fortitude, and using tools to shatter the enemy's mental will be tools that you can realistically abuse in order to outplay your opponent. This is also partially why rounds in Valorant tend to feel so streaky, and something like an Odin causing those losses is going to be giga tilting. So let's bring it all together. With everything that the gun can do, is the Odin the best gun in Valorant right now? I would say it's definitely up there. Of course, there's other candidates like the assault rifles and operator and so on, but with how many strengths the Odin carries in itself despite being a giant meme, I'm pretty impressed. So in your next solo queue game, when you're considering picking up your rifle of choice, shell out a little bit more and see what the Odin can do. You won't regret it.